Okay, Sagar.
Yes, sir. Tell me now.
Okay. So now you can ask the questions to Rakshita.
Sir, questions asking, no, I'm not completely aware of
Generally, you
it.
can ask. Generally, you can ask. So, what are the things you learned? What you implemented? Those questions you can ask to Rakshita.
Okay. Okay. Rakshita, can you speak up?
Yes, Rohit.
Can you let me know the difference between persistent volume and persistent volume claim?
Persistent
Switch over
volume means
clear, Rakshita.
persistent persistent volume means persistent volume means it is durable volume provided by the Kubernetes. Then PVC, which is persistent volume claim, means it is the services which is requested from the host or the port from the user.
Can I repeat it once again? I didn't get that one.
Yeah, persistent volume means that is a durable service provided for the Kubernetes, and persistent volume claim means the services request from the user or the pods.
Can you elaborate what do you mean by durable services provided by Kubernetes?
Uh, the services are custom IP, cluster IP, node port, load balance.
No, what you said is wrong. Persistent volume is the volume that we create for pods particularly, and persistent volume claim we will request that persistent volume for particular pods. Using PVC only, we can claim that particular amount of storage that we want for this kind of pod or something else within the Kubernetes. And persistent volume will be for the cluster based, and persistent volume claim is for the node space. Sorry, the namespace based. So actually, the purpose of persistent volume is for the it will provide the storage for the cluster or even the pods that we create within the Kubernetes. What you said is services. Okay, so can you write any deployment file? Can you share a screen and write a deployment file for me?
Rohit, meanwhile, you can ask some others, other questions to some other. You can ask Jairam.
Okay. Jairam, bro. Are you there?
Yeah, hi bro. Good evening.
Good evening, bro. Okay. So why do we need the deployment in the Kubernetes rather than the replica set?
Yes, in the in the like if we use the deployment, we can roll back images and we can create new versions in the deployment. In the replica set, we can't roll back and we can create the new versions in the replica set. This is the main difference.
Okay. Okay. Can you let me know how rolling update works within the deployment?
Like rolling update. Actually, this I'm not sure like how it works normally.
Okay.
Like we go for this like there is we have option like blue green deployment or there is one more thing we have like rolling update there like once we um, like in that whenever new version we need to update so we go for the rolling update there like the old parts like which is having the old version it is like gradually replaces with the new version parts. This I will go for the rolling update.
Yeah, in the deployment strategy, all the deployment strategy works the same. We will deploy the older, we will deploy the new version and we will remove the old version. It works the same. But I asked you how it exactly works. So, okay, I will try to explain if you don't know. We
Yes.
use maximum max surge and max unavailable fields within that rolling updates, which means max unavailable means we can mention how many pods can be deleted at that particular time. If we have 10 pods or 20 pods, we can let the Kubernetes know how many pods can be unavailable. Meanwhile, the same number of pods will be getting updated in the backend using the max search for availability. So this is how the rolling update works within the Kubernetes.
Yeah, actually, I also said the same thing. Like it's gradually replaces the old version parts and it will deploy the new versions.
But if but even the canary updates do the same, bro. We have to mention the arguments that we pass within because there is the only difference between all of it is the arguments that we pass is right within the
Okay.
cluster. Within the manifest file, we will the strategy we use is similar. However we deploy the new version provided by developer and we will remove the older version right with the updates. The only thing that we difference is this, the main difference. If you mention it, it will be better, according to
Okay.
me.
Yeah, understood. Correct.
Okay. Can you let me know the command for the rollback in deployment?
And for rollback.
If you deploy a new version and this doesn't work, then how are you going to roll back for the older version?
Rollback to the old version. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure this. Like,
Okay.
what's the command we use?
We use kubectl rollout undo for this one, for the older version, and we can mention which version to switch. We can also mention that one too.
Okay.
And okay,
kubectl
you can
rollout
go.
undo.
Rollout undo. You can go through that one after this. Okay. Okay. So, what do you mean by cron job within the Kubernetes?
Like on job within the Kubernetes, like whenever like to schedule like any containers to start or stop. So we go for the on job and mm, like
Oh,
if and like the concept like mainly purpose like to scheduling the timings like if you want like any data backup from the particular containers by using persistent values from the default locations to take the backup and like we can use the multiple in the like multiple scenarios we can go for the conjab depending on that depending on necessary we need.
yeah, what you said is correct. Cron job is nothing but we schedule tasks. We can schedule any task that we can do. Whatever we do in the other Jenkins, right? The same cron job will be applied here. The same
Yes.
strategy, or we will create it as a pod here. That's it. Now, do you
Yes.
know what do you mean by job in Kubernetes?
Yes, job we use like to create one or more parts and to run for particular task and it will terminate immediately when once the task is complete.
Okay. Okay. So, can you explain the daemon set within Kubernetes? How does that exactly work?
Kubernetes, like
daemon sets.
Okay, I understand. Okay, daemon set is like whenever like there is a few parts like those need to be run in every node. So in those cases, like system or like system services and few parts like what we can say monitoring parts and all. These parts we should need on every node. So in these cases, if we go with the replica set will not deploy each part in every node. It will randomly distribute the parts to the nodes. So these parts each node should be deployed in the each part should be deployed in the each node. So for this purpose, we select the daemon sets to
Can
deploy
you
each
give
part.
Can you give me examples on where where can be daemon sets used in real time scenarios in the production purpose? Where can we exactly deploy the daemon set? Where it comes to the picture?
Okay, like it depends. Like when we have like few system related parts we have. So this like monitoring like few parts should be monitoring type parts we have. So in those cases we use for these parts we use particularly.
Okay. For monitoring and the log collectors, if we want logs from every nodes, we want the pod to run on each and every node. So, and even for monitoring, it has to collect the data from all the nodes. That is the reason they have to. Okay, sir, I am done with my questions. I got a call from office. Can somebody else start? Sandeep sir. Sandeep sir, are you there?
Maybe he's in work. He's with his office work. I think so.
I'm getting a call from my office, bro.
Yeah, bro, you can go.
Okay.
We'll take care. Yeah, I think Barisagar, you can ask someone else. No, actually, I'm also in office work.
Sagar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now you can ask to Omar.
Yeah. So, hi, Omar.
Hi, Sagar.
So, for example, like if you are performing any rolling update, so now users are like reporting any errors. So, how do you quickly roll back and resolve that issue?
Okay. So basically, we have to follow an automated rollback strategy in our in the pipeline. We have to follow any automated strategy. Basically, like for example, if we have deployed GitOps, so like there are like some methods, right? Like in the GitHub Actions also is there, and also we have the Argo CD.
No, just you need to restore the service, bro. Just like you need to apply. No, you have to fix the issue immediately. So then you should go you should do undo deployment. So
Okay,
it will roll back to the previous replica set, no?
Yes, like basically if there are like multiple pods running in the nodes, right? So in that we can switch to the other nodes you are saying, right? From the rollback strategy.
Yeah. My question was the same. Like if you are performing rollback update, so now if the users are reporting errors, like how you can quickly roll back and fix this issue.
Okay, so that kubectl rollout undo deployment, right? So in this case, we'll be switching back to the old version.
Yes.
Okay.
So and if like the pod is in error state, so what are the steps you take for the debug?
Pod is in error state.
Yeah.
Basically, firstly, we have to check for the logs of the pod. So we can go with the kubectl logs and the pod name, and then we have to check what is the error logs that we are getting. Also, we can go with kubectl describe pod name. Here we will get the entire details of what is the why the pod is down, and, troubleshoot on the steps.
Yeah.
So we can log into the container as well if it is required, with the kubectl exec -it command.
Okay. So now if you see readiness probe failed, so messages in your pod events. So on the time, like how do you fix that if you face any readiness probe failed?
Readiness problem is
Yeah, like tell what is readiness
it's
probe?
basically to ensure if the application is ready or if the application is ready. So here we will monitor the health probes in Kubernetes. So I think so we can go
Why
with,
it may cause error? Like what are the reasons to be failed readiness?
depends if we are using more resources and more constraints in our nodes, right? So at that time, so the Kubernetes might fail and it might not schedule the nodes, and the pods might get failed.
Basically, when we give some wrong path in the readiness, or like if the readiness check fails continuously on the time also, and if you face any network issues, so if the probe cannot request that container, if it cannot reach the container, so on the time also we face this issue.
Okay.
Like what is Terraform? Why do we use Terraform?
Terraform is basically the infrastructure as a code tool. So it helps to schedule the resources like within a fraction of seconds. Basically, if we need any infrastructure, right? So like compute, storage, or network. So in this case, we will go with Terraform so that our infrastructure is up and running fast, and also to avoid the maintenance costs in AWS. Basically, we will prefer with the Terraform here.
Yeah. So what is headless services?
Sorry, I didn't headless.
Headless services.
Headless services is basically it is a service with no cluster IP. So here the Kubernetes will not basically load the traffic. I mean to not load the traffic. Instead, the DNS will route the traffic via the internal IP pods.
So what is the difference between load balancer and ingress? Why we use ingress and why we use load balancer here?
Load balancers is like basically it's a kind of service if we are going to expose our service to the outside world. So in this case, we will be going with the load balancer.
No, both do the same. No, like why particularly we go for example, like if we are exposing any single service to the outside the cluster. So on the time, like which we use, like either the load balancer or
Basically, we'll be
ingress.
going with the ingress most of the time because it acts as the reverse proxy here, and it routes the HTTPS traffic to multiple services based on the host name and paths. So we'll be going with the ingress only most of the time because it provides a single external IP. In case of the load balancer, we will use as a service along with the cloud providers.
Yeah. So like so how do we get the volume snapshots? Do you know volume snapshots?
In
If like our application requires regular backups, so how we can get through the Kubernetes volume snapshots? Do you know this?
No, I'm not sure on the snapshot part.
So if I wanted to backup, if I need a regular backup,
We had the
so
etcd, we can perform it, right?
yeah.
I've actually not covered that entire etcd part. Like, how do we? Not sure on the process, but here actually all the database entries, it will be stored in the etcd itself.
Yeah. So like if your applications, like if you wanted to automatically scale up your pods based on the CPU utilization, so on like which autoscaler do you use?
Auto scaling, we can go with the HPA itself, horizontal for auto scaling.
Yeah, like what exactly it does?
I think so. It scales up the pods, like based depending on the availability.
But particularly, see the horizontal port auto scales. It scales the number of ports in deployment or stateful replica set based on the CPU and memory. So, what exactly here we give the average utilization. So we set the target here CPU. So how much like 70% like that. So we use this. So if the CPU went more than like 70%, so Kubernetes like it will add the more ports again. So that's the reason we use HPA. So again, like if you wanted to we use VPA, so that it will just adjust the resource like CPU memory for existing ports. So instead of increasing number of ports, it will just add on the CPU usage on the current which is present in that which is present port. So this is the difference we use vertical and the horizontal.
Okay.
Okay, explain me the blue-green deployment, ruling update, and canary deployment, Omar.
Yes, sir. Blue-green deployment, canary deployment, and rolling update, right?
Yeah, blue-green, canary, and ruling update.
Blue-green is like it will deploy a new version in the parallel server. So once it is validated from the blue, like from the old version, it is in the blue state. So once it is validated, it will switch the traffic from the old to the new one that is in the green state. So here it is that if the services is needed immediate rollback, then we will go with the blue-green deployment. It is used for basically zero downtime and quick rollback. So that is the blue-green deployment. In canary deployment, basically it gradually rolls out a new version to the small percentage of users. So it starts with, for example, 10 to 20% of the users, then gradually it increases to 50%, and then once the version is stable, then it will be released to all the users in the canary deployment. So here, in this case, the pod should be always up and running. So here, basically, we'll use it for any payment or banking related services. We'll go with the canary deployment at most of the times. And the rolling update, it replaces the old pods gradually with the new ones, and it ensures that there is no downtime as well during the update. It is used for basically the stateless applications.
Okay. So suppose if I want to roll back to the previous version, what is the command?
Kubectl rollout undo deployment and the deployment name. So this will go back to the previous.
So that is for pulling the new image. I am asking to, like, I need to go to the previous version. The new deployment has some issues. I need to roll back to the previous version. What is the command?
And I'm not sure. Sir. Undo command only we use it, right, sir, with the kubectl.
Tell me the command.
Kubectl, I'm aware of this kubectl undo deployment, sir. Rollback, I'm not sure.
Yeah, undo is nothing but going back to the previous version. Okay, Pooja.
Oh, yes, Sandeep.
Yeah,
kubectl.
Amrita, you can ask some questions to Pooja.
Okay. Pooja, why we need labels and selectors?
Yeah. Label, it is like the key value pair that we attach to the Kubernetes objects, that is pod services. So we needed to organize the resources or filtering or grouping or selecting the objects. So without labels or without labels, the services cannot know like which pods it has to target. Selector, it is like it filters Kubernetes objects based on the labels.
Okay, so basically we use whenever the pod restarts, right? So it will come up with some different IPs. So the IP we cannot mention in the services, right? So we are mentioning the labels and selectors so that every time whenever my pod restarts, it should come up with the same pods. Like so, it will take the labels and selector and it will come up. So for that reason. And next question: how do you secure your Kubernetes?
Yeah, securing Kubernetes is like in the cluster level security, we can go with role-based access control. So using roles and cluster roles with the role bindings. It's like it provides the least privilege only with the required permissions. And then the pod security. Here we can prevent the pods from running as a root, and we can restrict the privileged containers. And then network security, if you come to network security, by default in Kubernetes, like all pods can connect to each other. So we can restrict here. We can create network policy to allow only required communication.
Hmm.
And node security is also there.
Okay. So, what are all the Terraform modules you are aware?
Terraform module, I'm aware of main.tf and variables.tf file and main.tf.
They are not modules. So that we will be using AWS VPC, EC2 instances, Terraform, AWS VPC, those kind of things we call it as modules.
Okay. VPC, those call as models.
Whatever the services we will create from the Terraform, right?
Okay.
That one we will call it as Terraform service modules.
Okay.
Okay. So I have one node. I don't want any pods to be deployed in my node. So how can we restrict?
You have a node. We don't want any pod to distribute traffic.
Deploy. I don't want any pod to be deployed in my particular node. So I want to restrict my node. How do you restrict?
Yeah, we can give like Hmm. We can taint the node like kubectl taint nodes and the node name. We can give us no schedule so that it will not schedule unless the pod has the matching toleration. Or we can use node selector if we want
If
to avoid one node and allow others. We can use our label nodes and select
if we
accordingly.
use node selector, right? So if I am using daemon set, it will be deployed, right? So daemon set will be basically used for to deploy all the pods. Like pods should be displayed in all the nodes. So node selector, even though it will not restrict, with the taint we can restrict. So even we have a toleration in pod, then only we are giving exception for the those pods which we have updated as the tolerations in the pod. They only can have an exception to deploy in a particular node.
Okay.
Okay. So do you aware of that Terraform modules like for any other cloud provider? Like we know AWS, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any other cloud provider you know modules?
No, Amrita.
Okay. So what is the life cycle of the Terraform?
1 minute.
So what are the concepts covered in Terraform?
Modules and like life cycle and drift and what are all the workspaces? That much only covered. Then we have to create that infrastructure, like easy to instances creation using Terraform.
Okay. So you know how do you do the locking of your state file? What if I delete the state file? What do you mean by import? ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ?
This is
No,
not yet
no,
done.
not,
Till now that these modules only completed, like modules, drift and workspaces, how to create.
That's it.
So everyone know aware of how to write a Terraform file.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
yes,
For
but
each count.
Yeah, we know, but actually we know how to create, like we create the state instance and VPC is only that one, like we don't know about the how we can how we can use EKS, like that we need to practice.
Okay.
even
Okay.
morning Sandeep so told like you people has to start practice about introduction. So if you provide any documentation, so we can start the things.
Yeah. Okay, I will provide you at least you know, right, for each what you mean by drift, how you are going to handle, so where you are going to keep your secret for Terraform. So these things you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So currently only 2 sessions they have taken. So that HashiCorp vault is also not covered. So we have to go through it, I think. So for that secrets to store, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think the sir will cover it mostly tomorrow or day after.
So can anyone tell me what you mean by Terraform? Why we are using Terraform?
Terraform we use. Okay. Amrita can say. I will.
So basically we were using the infrastructure as a code. So we wanted to create a resources in the cloud provider like Azure, AWS, GCP. So in the one thing is like, so we are using a Terraform code. So it will be created the infrastructure for the like whatever resources, like example VPC and IAM and the EC2 instances S3. So for that we will be using Terraform.
Okay.
And
So
also,
Terraform time, do you know what you mean by Terraform time?
And
Terra-
in Terraform, we can maintain the state. If you want to delete the resources manually or create them manually, it will take a lot of time. But Terraform will maintain the state so that we can directly terminate the whole infra in a single with a single code.
Not state, I am asking about the Terraform taint.
Taint, no sir, have to go through this one.
No, I'm asking you, is it covered or not?
No, not yet covered.
Okay, null resource. Suppose like I have created some services, okay, some 10 services I have created through Terraform. Okay. If I don't want, if I, even though if someone comes and delete Terraform, delete Python, refer the file, if they delete the Terraform code itself, or using the command, if I want to delete the infrastructure through Terraform delete, even though like if they run the command, one of the services should not delete. So how to handle this? These things is not yet covered, right?
no, not yet covered.
No.
Okay. Okay. So anyone tell me what do you mean by provision in Terraform?
Yes, sir. We automate what has to be done within the infra. For provisioning, we can mention that.
So it is basically creating or setting up the infrastructure automatically using the code, like instead of doing manually. So, like example, like if I wanted to 3 EC2 instance in AWS, so instead of manually launching them, so I can just define in the Terraform. So provision them in the like one like I can write and I can just apply Terraform apply.
Okay. So what do you mean by null resource in Terraform?
Basically, null resource is like so this is like it doesn't create any infrastructure. So instead, we can just only it will run inside the Terraform. Like if we wanted to run some scripts, so on the time we use this like null resource.
ಮಾಡಿದಾರಾ?
No, they have not done, but I have worked this.
Okay, so what Terraform init will do?
So
It will
init,
initialize the Terraform configurations.
What it will initialize?
so it downloads the
Like
product, like-
AWS, we are using that configuration like username, password, right? So that if we give that, you will initialize with that passkey and username.
Okay. So when
It,
Terraform
that's
state
the
file will
working
be created?
Whenever we do apply, so that whatever the configuration we have written and we are doing apply, then the state file will be created with the whatever the created infrastructure, the configuration, it will be created.
Okay. Suppose I have created manually, okay. Some resources I have created manually. Okay. I need to bring that manually created resource to my state file. How we can do this?
So I have to import that one, like a Terraform import command we have. We have to use that instances, particular instance ID we will get, and we have to import that, and we have to apply that. So it will be imported as Terraform configuration.
Okay. So what is the difference between import and refresh in Terraform?
Import is like, as I told now, we have to import whatever it is created out of Terraform manually. Refresh, I'm not sure.
See, Terraform, ಇದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಹೇಳಿ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಏನೇನು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ವೈಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಈಗ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಇನಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ವರ್ಕ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಈಚು ಕೌಂಟು ಇದಾಗಿದೆಯಾ?
No, actually,
Okay.
only that workspaces drift and how to create and what are the life cycle. That one only is still not, it is completed, but we are started learning some more, right? From there we are getting, that's it.
Okay. So do you know how to configure that state file locking? DynamoDB create ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ?
This is not tried manually, but we have gone through
Just
that
know the
concept.
Okay.
So
ಅದನ್ನ
why do we
ಹೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ?
use that? No, it is not it.
No. Actually, it's been 2 classes, and actually we need time to practice this. Actually, DynamoDB, although at least we need a day to practice all this, like by creating instance and VPC alarm, complete end-to-end ಮಾಡೋಕೆ.
Okay.
And we have a Terraform document so that we can go through that. Means all the concept he cannot cover, right? So that we can go through with the document notes.
ಓಕೆ. ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು Q&A ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೂ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಅದು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ.
Some concept like like the taint null we are not aware, so that one we will get from the Q&A, but full concept will be having in the notes, so we'll get just a basics. After that we can, if you are fails in explaining, then we can discuss with the Q&A. Like what are all the concept is there in the Terraform, we are not sure, right? So if we manually go through that also, we are not sure what all the concept we have to go. If notes is there, we can go through like a video or notes or ChatGPT anywhere.
Okay, so I will give you the notes. Okay. ಇನ್ನ ಇದು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. Okay, so I will send you the Terraform notes. So meanwhile, what you can do is, like anyway, you know some Terraform concepts, right? Okay, so write any Terraform file or a Terraform file. Okay, create a log for your state file. Okay, even if you are working on the same state file. Okay, if one person is working on the same state file, it should not work for others. Okay, that is the reason we are using the state locking. What if I are working in a 2 different region? Okay, now you are doing some infra changes. Okay, now we are doing apply. If you are not providing any state locking, means if another person also apply, it will be conflict. Okay, so that is the reason we need to make sure we need to lock our state file. Okay, using the DynamoDB. So anyway, in the Terraform, you will get a code from the ChatGPT or somewhere. That is not at all problem. So you can go see before starting Terraform, you can go to HashiCorp.c. There is a documentation from the Terraform itself. Okay. So before you are going to practice, you can go through the documentation which is provided by the HashiCorp. Okay. Then you can go with, so for each resource, how to define, how to call this resource into a Terraform block, all the details they will mention in the documentation. Okay. At least for AKS, ACR, EC2, S3 bucket, VPC. So whatever the resource you know, right, in the AWS, you should know each and every point, then only you are able to write the Terraform code. Okay. If you don't know how VPC is not working, you are not able to write the Terraform code for that. Because while creating a VPC, you should know what you mean by public subnet, what you mean by private subnet, where exactly I need to route attach that IGW. These things you should know. Same way, suppose if you want to create a CloudWatch, okay, through Terraform code, in the console we can do it. Okay, but in Terraform we need to define the width, what is the size, what is the metrics, everything you need to be write a code. Okay. ಈಗ ಬರೀ EC2 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ, ಬೇರೆ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ?
S3 created. S3 bucket only.
So today, what you can do is like so you can refer any documentation or in the chat GPT, create one CloudWatch, create one EC2 instance, okay? Create a CloudWatch and monitor the CPU and the memory through Terraform code, okay? And before going to provision the EC2 instance, you need to be install Java and Nginx or Apache server into your EC2 instance. Okay, before spinning up the EC2 instance, the Nginx or Apache should be installed in your EC2 machine, and it should provision. Okay, it is task ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬರ್ತೀರಾ?
Yes, sir, we'll try.
ಸೊ ಇದು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಚಾಟ್ ಜಿಪಿಟಿ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಂಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಕೋಡ್, ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಬಟ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಏನೇನ್ ಈಗ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೆರಾಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಕ್ವಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ ಎ AKS ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್? ಏನೇನ್ ಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ. ಹಲೋ, ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು.
Like we need like control plane and services, whatever we need. Services.
First, we should be kubectl should be installed. EKS configuration like AWS CL it is required.
Hello.
Yes, so we have to mention the resource groups or in the cluster name, the node counts, and the SSH keys to log in.
Okay. So you need to know how many worker nodes should be required to bring up your AKS. Okay. Security groups. Suppose if your Kubernetes need to be installed in the VPC, you need to know which VPC, internet gateways, routing tables, IAM rules. Okay. So these things you need to be required to bring up any EKS cluster. Okay. Kubernetes is nothing but EKS cluster only. You can do it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you mean by modules? Hello.
Like so with the different cloud services we will be using the names like example in the AWS we use EC2 as a EC2 instance. Same thing like in Azure they will be using they will be using some different VM and virtual machine they will call, and VNet they will call. Those we call it as the modules.
Every cloud provider, they will create the code. We will create the code, right? However, for the setup, so they will contribute the code to the Terraform. Using that only, we can using the predefined modules that we can directly create the whole infra. Rather than we creating it manually, the cloud provider will be creating the whole code and will give it to the Terraform. We can use that particular modules. We can directly create infra from that just by the small additions. We can edit whatever we want. If you want the VPC, then if you want NACL, we can directly edit yes or no in that one, and we can directly create it rather than creating it from the scratch. The whole infra, the cloud provider will automate it for the user purpose.
So Terraform module is nothing but for. So suppose I have created a resource called EC2, S3, VPC, some other resources I created through Terraform. Okay. So this will be required for QA. This is required for dev. This is required for production. Correct? Hello?
Yes, sir. We need it for production, yes.
So again, writing the same resources multiple times It is a waste of time, and also it will the file will be huge. I mean, we will get confused. So which resources belong to the dev, which resources belong to the QA. Okay. So what we can do, keep it your resources in one, and you can call in the main function or main .tf. Okay. I mean, it is an organized reuse of your Terraform code. Okay. Module is nothing but.
Similar to the coding languages modules, right? Using the Python
Yes.
modules are similar.
Yeah, somewhere we will keep it and we are calling it, right? So it is like a your Jenkins shared library. We will keep it. So whenever we need, we are calling those shared libraries, right? Same way in
Can we
Terraform.
create modules on our own, or the cloud
Yeah,
provider has to?
you need to be create your modules.
Okay.
See, easy
I
to.
thought only
Hmm.
we can pull the modules from the Terraform itself.
No. Modules is like a special feature in Terraform. Okay.
Okay.
The future, you can call it like I can keep your EC2 in some other folder, EC2 or S3, any resource, and I'm calling it for multiple times. Whenever I record, I'm just calling where I will call where is the exact path of the Terraform code. I will call it in the main.tf. Okay, that is called the Terraform modules. It will avoid repeating the same code. That's it. Okay.
Yes, sir, got you.
You got Terraform. I mean, Kubernetes. You are all prepared, right? So.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but
Okay,
we
so
need to
tomorrow
focus on.
before starting the Terraform, okay, so please go through some AWS concepts, all the concepts. Okay, so before going to Terraform, please go through whatever the services we taught in the class. Please go through the dashboards, every options in your AWS console. Okay, so if you
Sir,
know, if you have.
I had a question. Today morning, Sandeep sir told that we have to prepare for the interview intro. Okay. And he said include the C. We were working on the embedded C and the Java, the name and build. So can we use microservices here? Because if we use only one build tool, how can we tell them that we have used the microservices and Ingress controller and even the whole Kubernetes?
See, they are working on like embedded C only. Say they need only Git submodules. Okay, because I already told you, right? In a single car, if I want to write the features for entire car, so how many GitHub repository will required? So what they will do? So in that situation, they are not going to use containerization. Like containerization, they will use for VM. So I explained, right, in Azure DevOps. Suppose I want to create, or if I want to CI/CD, I need to go with Azure DevOps. So I can use Pod as an agent. So in this way, we can reduce the cost. So that purpose they can use for build machines. So suppose 30 developers are working. So if I want to give 30 VMs, so what I will do, I can give them with a Docker container. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever the versions they need, okay, I will spin up a new Docker container. Whatever the specific version they need, I will give them. Because in the embedded C, if they are working, they need some different versions of C or like Makefile, and there is some different tools they are going to use. Okay. In that scenario, they are I mean, everyone should know about Jenkins and Git submodules and Splunk, and there is another called they will use to build it. There is another.
PyBuilder for Python.
No, they are not going to use any Python here. They will use only C++. Okay. So anyway, it's like a same thing. Like Java is the source code. There also C is the source code. Here they will write a pom.xml. So they in the C++ they are going to write for Makefile. Okay. So in our application or in our projects, so we are going to host our application in the server. That's it. But they are going to build one binary. So ಯಾವ ತರ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so anyway, like in Play Store, you are going to download, right? In one click, it will download and it will execute. Correct?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಬಂದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ ಅಪ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್. ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ಅವ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ದ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದೇರ್ ಮೆಷಿನ್. ಇನ್ ದ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಷಿನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಪೋಸ್ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ತರನೇ ಒಂದು ಸಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So they will deploy into they will flash their build into the microprocessor. Okay, microprocessor ಗೆ push ಮಾಡಿ or flash ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Flash is nothing but whatever the code which is in our local system will be deployed to the microprocessor. So simulation ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ರೈಟ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತಾ, ಲೈಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಆನ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, ಇಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಆನ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹೆಡ್ಲೈಟ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಪೀಡೋಮೀಟರ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೋಡ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಡೌನ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ.
ಇದ್ರ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದರ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸಿ ಮೇಲೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಅದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅದು, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಸಂದೀಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ವಾ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಈಗ ECG ಅಥವಾ ECG ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು MRI, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಎ ಕೋಡ್, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ವಿಜುವಲೈಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಏನೇನ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಅದು.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಸಿಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ಜಾವಾ, NPM, ಪೈ ಬಿಲ್ಡರ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಸಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅದು ಕಳಿಸಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿ. ಅದೊಂದು ಇರ್ಲಿ. ಈಗ ಅದು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವರು ಇಂಟ್ರೋನೇ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೇರ್ಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೌಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸಂದೀಪ್ ವಿಲ್ ಶೋ, ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೊ ದೇ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಶೇರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್. ಓಕೆ,
ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ,
ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಹೆಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡರ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ VPN. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಫ್ಲಾಶ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆಫೀಸ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆ ತರನು ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್, ನೀವು ಆ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಆಟೋಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಟೋಮೋಟಿವ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹೈರ್ ಯು. ಬಟ್ ಅದೇ ನಾನೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಗ ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಂಟಿನೆಂಟಲ್, ಸಮ್ ಇನ್ಯಾವಿದೆ, ವೋಲ್ವೋ. So these companies, they hire you even if you have some knowledge on Jenkins, Git, and Terraform. So they definitely, if they are going to use C++, they should know how to write the Terraform code. That is required, right?
IoT devices ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ವಾ? ಸಿಮೇಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಬೆಡೆಡ್ ಸಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. IoT devices ಎಲ್ಲ, ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಷಿನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾದನ್ನು,
ಈಗ ಬಾಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇದೆ. Embedded C.
Okay.
Somewhere they will write the Python also. Some functionality may not work in the advanced class system. They are going with the Python. Okay. So, but ನಿಮ್ಗೆ Jenkins, but Terraform ಅಂತೂ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು, Git ಬೇಕು, Jenkins ಬೇಕು. So if you are going for a C++, like only two things will not come. One is Docker. Docker will require. So I told you, right? Suppose if I want to spin up any Kubernetes, they are not going to use. Even though if they want to reduce the cost, then again they will go with the Kubernetes. Again they need to pay amount for AKS or EKS. So what we can do, like we can spin up some containers. Anyway, Docker is open source and we can use that one. Okay. But you should be expert in Git, Jenkins, Terraform, and Linux.
Okay.
And also, like in some companies, so the makefile will be written by DevOps engineers, but not in all the companies. In some companies. Okay. ಬಟ್
And
ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್
even
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ. ಅದು ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಅದಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಇವು ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕಂಪ್ನೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ.
okay.
ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ, ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಕಲೀರಿ. ಇದೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು.
Okay.
ಆತರ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಓಕೆ, ವೆಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಇದ್ರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇದೀನಿ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ
Okay.
ಹರ್ಮಾನಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇದೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಬೆಡೆಡ್ ಹರ್ಮಾನ್ ಬೆಂಜಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಜಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಜನರಲ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ಸ್.
ಹಾ,
ಸೊ
ಹೌದು.
ದೇ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೋತ್, ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಕುಬರ್ನೆಟಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಮಾಡೋರೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಸ್ ಅ ಡೆವಾಪ್ಸ್ ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಟೆರಾಫಾರಮ್, ಪ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಟೇಕನ್ ಕೇರ್. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆವಾಪ್ಸ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಜೆಂಕಿನ್ಸ್ ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗಿಟಬ್ ನ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Okay.
ಸಂದೀಪ್, ಇದು
Kubernetes-
ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್?
ವಿಚ್ ಒನ್?
ಲೈಕ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಆಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
Okay, okay, sir.
ಸೊ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಅದೇ ತರನೇ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿವನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಒಂದೇ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೆ 5 ಜನ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವೇ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Okay.
ಓಕೆನಾ.
And Sandeep, what is the next process? Like Sandeep is telling in the morning classes, before festival we'll be going to close the classes.
ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಈ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಈ ವೀಕಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆರಾಫಾರಂ ಮುಗಿಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಸಿಮ್. ಓಕೆನಾ. ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಸಿಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತ್ ಆನ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ರಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಸ್. ಓಕೆ,
And the practical demo session?
ಅದನ್ನು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ವೀಕಲ್ಲೇ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ.
No, we are not in Bangalore. That's why we have to inform.
ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಲಿಯಾಗಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಗ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಯಾರು
ಸರ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ all are out of Bangalore right now? Rohit, Amruta, Jairam, Niharika, everyone is out of Bangalore, huh?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ.
Okay, so like see, when we start our interview process, right? So we will send you to attend the interview offline also. You need to be ready. So we will inform one day before. Okay, one day before means like if it is tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we will inform in the evening up within 6 o'clock, because we also don't know whether we are going to schedule tomorrow or day after tomorrow, but we will inform you. Okay, one day before means within 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, you need to be ready.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. So nowadays they are going to take not virtual, so at least one round you should be go for office for the interviews.
Okay.
Adike, so please prepare. See, please be confident while answering. So they will cross question you. Okay, they will ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ 10 ಸರಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ. if possible, you can come down and give your mobiles, or else you can courier the mobile.
Okay.
Both also fine. Okay.
Yeah, Sandeep. Yeah, okay.
In another 2 days, we will inform you. ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇದು PF ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ PF ಯಾರ್ಯಾರ್ದಿದೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್
ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಸರ್, ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ.
ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ದೋಸ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಟ್, ಸೊ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಚರ್.
ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ತಾನೇ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದವರು?
ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಯಾವ ಇಯರ್ ಇಂದ ಯಾವ ಇಯರ್ ಇದೆ, ನಾವ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗ್ ಬೇಕೀಗ.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ.
ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ? 1 Pooja, 2 3. ಓಕೆ, 3 members. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಟುಮಾರೋ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾಳೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿದೆ, ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಯು. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಾರ್ದು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇದೆ? ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಡೇಸ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್?
ನಂದು 3 months ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಡೇ ಔಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ.
ಓಕೆ. ಜಯರಾಮ್?
Yes, I'm in papers now. Mine is 3 months. I think mine is still 2 more months is there to complete notice period.
Okay. Okay, so at least it will take 1 month time to process entire. Okay, Jairam. But if you place between that, so you can request your manager to relieve early. Okay.
Yes, I spoke with my manager, and actually she guided like if you get a job, then we'll see and we'll release, like that she was told.
Okay. Okay, for Pooja, for you also 3 months, huh?
Yes, sir, 3 months.
Okay. You already in notice, or still you need to drop on the paper?
No, I'm not in notice. I have to drop.
Okay. So we will inform Pooja, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. So tomorrow you need to come up with AWS and Terraform both.
Okay, sir, sure.
And I think in this week, like some other, he is working only on Terraform, okay? So he will take another 2 more classes. I don't know when he is going to take, either maybe on Sunday or Saturday. So he will show you, okay?
Okay.
And we will, another person will come and he will only show you how the structure will be, how to write the Terraform modules, okay? So how the variables need to be defined, how to call those variables into your Terraform modules. He will show you. So another, apart from Sandeep session, so another 4 session will be taken care by others, okay?
Okay, sir, sure.
Yeah.
If possible, ವೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ಡೇ ಹಬ್ಬ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ನಾಳೆ ನಡೀತಿರೋ ಹಬ್ಬ.
ಓಕೆ, ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಥರ್ಸ್ಡೇ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರೈಡೆ. ಓಕೆ, I will inform. But tomorrow you can join. Everyone should join. So I will ask him to take a session tomorrow itself. Okay. At least for Terraform modules, how to write the Terraform code. Okay, in the GitHub repository, how they are maintaining all the 4 structure, he will show you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Sandeep. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.